What is up? My name's Brad and this is Operation GameCube. Now, for any of you that are new to the channel, in this series we're trying to build a GameCube collection starting off with just £10. By using our charity shops, our car boots, our Facebook marketplace, looking for stuff for cheap that we can sell for a profit to build a game fund to buy GameCube bangers. Now, before we get into this week's episode, I just want to address last week's video. Now, last week's video for me was a little bit doom and gloom, a little bit complainy, and that's not what we're about on this channel. I don't know whether it was like a mixture of like having a bad week, having a bad CEX order or delivery, just having a ton of stuff in my real personal life getting on top of me, and just sort of all like becoming a bit too much, and I kind of turned it into something it wasn't. But yeah, I don't want that to be a representation of this channel. On this channel, we're all about positivity. We're all about enjoying the journey, maybe coming across these obstacles and finding a way to overcome them so that we can achieve our goals. And that's what we're about on this channel. So yeah, I apologise for last week. That's why I haven't really replied to a lot of comments. That's another thing I sort of pride myself on is trying to reply to every single comment I get on a video. And last week, yeah, I was a little bit disappointed in myself and I kind of wanted to distance myself from that video. Although it did well, it's not a fair representation of this channel. We are positive on this channel. But enough about that. One more thing about last week. I did mention if we hit 3,000 subs by the end of the month, I think we're 55 or something away, I will do a giveaway for this Capcom Super Pocket. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Like I said, we're only 55 away and we can hopefully do a giveaway for this. But let's get into this week's episode. Now, I've been making sales and I've actually been selling a ton of like old stock, a ton of stuff from like Operation N64 that's been hanging about, other stuff I've had listed. So yeah, sales have been okay, but I've only made two for this series, two that go into the pot for Operation GameCube. The first sale was that Obi-Wan Kenobi Builder Blade lightsaber. That went for £10 on Vinted. And we also sold that Kylo Ren, I think it's a TIE Fighter toy. That went for £10.99 on eBay. So after all deductions, that's the grand total of this to add to the game fund for a grand total of this. So yeah, game fund's okay. It's you know, sales coming in is sort of paying for the week's worth of pickups. So we're sort of staying around where we finish every week, if you know what I mean. But we've also got that stuff we picked up last week from CEX, that Mario Party 6 big box, which was battered, and that Digimon Rumble, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Digimon Rumble didn't have a manual, so they need to go back to CEX this week, so that's something I definitely want to do. I'm probably just going to make another order, maybe to go down a bit of a safer route. So yeah, we'll get into that. Plus, I've got a couple of bits and pieces that we picked up last week that we need to trade in, nothing crazy. But that's the plan for this week. And of course, as always, we will try our luck in the charity shops. And if we don't get lucky, it's just not our week. We won't give up. We'll just try again next week. We're still in a healthy position. And hopefully I'll be back at the car boots the week after. So it's another opportunity there. So anyway, let's get into this week's episode. Let's go. Right guys, so we were back at it, back in the positive mind frame, raring to go. And the first thing we saw this week were these point horror books. Now, I was a Goosebump fan when I was younger. My sister was into the point horror. Cool to see, but I left these behind. I then asked if they had any games out the back, and he pulled this big plastic tub out with a bunch of games in. There's PC, DS, some PS4, a bit of PS3 in there as well. Had a good little look through. £1 a game, very good price. I love me £1 games, but there wasn't really much in here worth picking up. I did pick up one game for the collection, but yeah, still good to see. It's a good sign, and it means I'm going to always ask when I'm in this charity shop. I don't think I've asked in here before. This was the first time. So yeah, I'm going to keep asking every time I go in, moving forward. Again, we saw a couple of games in this charity shop. We've gone from not seeing any to seeing them two in a row. A couple of PS4 games here, £2.50 a piece. Nothing worth picking up, but cool to see nonetheless. It's always a good sign. Regardless of whether the games are worth picking up or not, just seeing games in charity shops is always a good sign. And then I'd look at the DVDs. Some of these old school like kids show DVDs can do pretty well. This was pretty cool. This was like one of them Rugrats all grown up. I think it was a movie. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I had a little look through the DVDs. There's some really strange ones in here. This Bag Puss, I thought I'd picked that up before for trade, but there was nothing in it. And I saw this really strange Gladiator Cop, I think it was called. Yeah, Gladiator Cop DVD at the end there, which I thought was really odd. Sometimes these odd, sort of funny, weird movies can have a little bit of value, but unfortunately it didn't. 3 shops and 3 times we're seeing games. Just a couple of rugby games, but still worth looking up. There are some like obscure rugby games with a little bit of value. So yeah, don't overlook the rugby games if you see them. I then saw these books. There was 3 or 4 editions, all in the same series. Can't quite remember what they're called. Can't quite make it out on the camera there. But yeah, these were all £1 each, and I ummed and ahed about them for a little while. The thing that put me off was there weren't a lot of sales of them. They didn't seem to sell very well, and they were big and bulky and heavy, and I didn't really want to have them lying around. A couple of nice pieces here, but 30 quid for this Dortmund jacket, 18 quid for this Swans jersey. Yeah, man, this is what we were talking about last week, but we're not going to let it get us down. We're going to keep going. You're going to see this stuff everywhere. Don't let it put you off. Keep going. This box set right here, The Descendants. My kids loved The Descendants back in the day. And this box set here has a little bit of trade, so keep an eye out for this. This is like £4 or £5 trade. And then a couple of sketchy looking Man United shirts right here, kids ones. Some Spain shorts there. I should have picked them up for my boy really, but I left them behind. Couple of games in here, but your usual throwaway Wii games, Wii Music, Wii Fit. I did have a little flip through the Blu-rays. Blu-rays are definitely somewhere I'm looking a little bit more in detail at if I do see them. But yeah, a couple of games, couple of Blu-rays, but nothing worth picking up. Glass cabinet here, and there was a few interesting pieces in here, a few box sets here, some figures and whatnot. The GTA 4 there for a £5, some Skylanders. Yeah, Need for Speed Underground on the PC, what was that, £5? Went into this one, looked at the VHS. This charity shop used to be pretty good to me in the past. I'm pretty friendly with the bloke that works there, but nothing worth picking up here. Some comic books, had a little flip through these. Something that I used to be into a bit more back in the day. I've sort of strayed away from it. It's just something I haven't really got time for. Do love the artwork, of course, it's fantastic, but yeah, it's just something I really haven't got time to invest in anymore. And then this charity shop sort of knows what they've got. They always have a good selection of DVDs and stuff in here. Sometimes they have games, very rarely, but they kind of know what they've got. A lot of these obscure, like music or like documentary or like world cinema, that sort of stuff, and they're all individually priced. I did end up picking up one, which was worth picking up, but a lot of them, as you can see, $5.99, $3.99, $2.99. Not your standard 3 for a quid, 5 for a quid that you want to see. I love the look on this jersey. This is a fake, obviously, but I'd love to pick up one of these Ajax Ziggler jerseys. I really think they're cool. The Bob Marley jerseys, pretty sick. Yeah, I would love to get my hands on one day. Unfortunately, this one was janky fake, but yeah, cool jersey if you can find the real one. And then I saw this, and this is where I want to ask you, would you guys have picked this up? It's an iPad, it was £10. It said spares and repairs, but you can see it's working, the screen was working, and I asked them at the till why it was spares and repairs, and they said because it didn't have a charger, which is kind of odd, but we'll have a look in detail at that. Would you guys have picked it up? Let me know. I did see all of these headphones right here, and this was maybe a little bit of a schoolboy error. Didn't look closely enough at them. But I did end up picking them all up. Hopefully I can make a couple of quid on them. We will see. Would you guys have picked these up as well? £2 a piece, brand new headphones. Let me know. Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. Let's have a look. How much are they?
They're £2 each.
£2 each, so? Okay. And this was the last stop, and as you heard, £2 a game, and they had games, which is fantastic. Another shop I'm always asking, because they keep them behind the till. But yeah, great way to end the week. And we are back in the games room, and we've done a lot better this week than last week. Now, I don't know if it was a change in attitude, being a bit more positive this week, but I'm very happy with the pickups from the charity shop. We've also picked up some games from the charity shop, some of which are going into the collection, and we did take that stuff back to CX and do another CX order, so we've got these to get into as well. Let's do the money first. Now, we spent a grand total of £39 for the game fund, so we can deduct that now. Now, this CX order came to roughly the same as what I'd spent last week, but I did a little trade, and that sort of made up the difference. So the CX fund is staying as is. But let's get into the pickups from the charity shop. So the first pickup is this Descendants box set here. It is 1, 2, and 3. I paid £2 for it, as you can see there. And this trades in, I think, for £5 of CX. Yeah, so not too bad. £2 into £5. My kids used to love this. The next pickup is this Sting Blu-ray. It is Sting live at the Olympia, Paris. As you can see, I paid £2.99 for it. CX sell it for like £8. I think they give you £6 trade. But this thing is brand new and sealed, so I'll probably try and sell this myself on eBay for about a tenner, something like that. But you could see in the footage, in that particular charity shop, they had a bunch of good like Blu-rays and good DVDs, but they were all priced up close to retail. There was a little bit in them, but not much in terms of me picking them up. I wasn't going to pay £5-6 for a DVD to make a quid or two. So they definitely knew what they had. Had them DVDs been around the £1 mark, I would have picked a bunch of them up because there was definitely some value there, but they sort of knew what they had. But anyway, yeah, this Sting Blu-ray, hopefully I can sell it for about a tenner on eBay. So the next pickup here, something a little bit different to what I normally do. I'm normally a bit hesitant, but I decided to pick up all of these, and they are these Apple headphones. They are the wired headphones. There's 6 here. I paid £2 a pop for them, so £12 for these lot here. But it wasn't until I got them home that I realised they are the auxiliary cable, as you can see there. That was my fault, my schoolboy error, because I think a mint or brand new set of these with the like new fitting, the new iPhone connection. I think the mint ones, they're trading for £5, so £5 each. But having said that, I did look these up on eBay, and they're selling for about £8-9 with the auxiliary cable. So I can stick these on eBay hopefully and make a few quid on them that way. Yeah, it was a little bit of an oversight for me, but still I think my money is safe. I think I can make a few quid on each of them. They're brand new, they are sealed. But yeah, it's something I should probably take more risks of in the future if I see a load of them. I think I missed out on it back in the day when I found them wooden puzzles, them football wooden puzzles, and there was like 4 or 5 of them. I picked up one and I sold it for like 25 quid like that. So I wish I'd picked them all up. But anyway, I go off again. The next pickup here now, I wasn't sure on this, right? When I was in the shop, it actually said spares and repairs, if you can see from the footage, but it is this iPad here. It is this iPad, I think it's iPad Air Generation 2. I paid £10 for it. It said spares and repairs. Now, when I took it to the till, I said, can you tell me what's wrong with it, why it's classed as spares and repairs? Because I turned it on and the screen was working, I was touching it, was working. It needs like factory resetting or whatever. But she said behind the till that the only reason it was spares and repairs was because it didn't have a charger. Now, I need to look into it a little bit more. But yeah, if this thing is working fine, my boy wants it. Now, this is the problem. My son is obsessed with anything like this. Technology, gadgets, phones, tablets, consoles. He loves it. Even just to play with them and like do the weirdest things, like do the settings on them and like change this and that and set up accounts. He's mad for it. So when I came home with this, he wanted it. Now, I'm not sure what to do with it, man. Should I give it to my boy? I probably should. What I'll probably do is buy it for him. I'll probably pay like £20 into the game fund for him so he can keep it. Because, I mean, I think CX give you £28 trade for this because it's only the 9.5-inch screen. Had this been the 10 or 11-inch screen, you're looking at a couple £100 trade on it. But yeah, this one here, I believe they sell for like 70, give you £28 trade. My boy has pulled on the heartstrings and made me feel incredibly guilty if I was to sell this. So what I might end up doing is, like I said, paying 20 quid into the game fund and giving it to the boy. But we will see. If he's a naughty boy, I'll sell it. So yeah, not too bad at all. And then the maddest thing happened. I had like 2 minutes literally like 2 minutes to pop into a charity shop. My missus was like, you've got 5 minutes, run in and out. So I literally went into this charity shop straight up to the till, and I know now that they keep the games behind the till. I know they do, she told me. So I straight away was like, can I have a look at the games? They're kept in a box behind the till. And she was like, oh yeah, so they are. Before she could say no, if you like. And she brought out a stack of games, and I could see the blue spines popping up. And there was a bunch of PS4 games there. And I get super excited. There's definitely value in PS4 games. And there's a decent stack here. They're all £2 each. One's going in the collection. But the first one is Assassin's Creed Unity. I think this one only trades in for £3. I wasn't sure at the time. The next one is Skyrim. This one trades in for £6. You've got God of War. I'm actually playing this at the minute. I went to put in Ragnarok, and then I remembered I never actually saw this through to the end. So I started it again, and this is the game I'm currently playing, if you care. But God of War, I think this trades in for £4. GTA 5 is £8 trade. You've got Red Dead Redemption 2. This is £10 trade. And Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, I think it's £6 trade. So I think I worked it out. I think it was about £34 trade or something like that from a £12 spend, which isn't too bad at all. I might try and sell them separately on like Vinted or eBay. I don't know yet. I'm second guessing whether to sell games privately myself or just trade them straight in. So I might try and sell them on. We will see. But that is everything we picked up this week. And considering I didn't have a great deal of time, I think I've done pretty well. Yeah, I'm very happy, especially to find games at the end of the week. Finding games just always puts a smile on your face. I can find a whole bunch of good stuff, and it's great. But when you find games, I don't know, it just has a different feeling, doesn't it? So yeah, I'm very happy with these pickups. Let's just go through the things I'm keeping in the collection. So from that stack of PS4 games, I'm keeping Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, funnily enough, I went to play this the other day. I finished playing Resident Evil Remake. Resident Evil 1 Remake on the PS4, and I wanted to get into something big, and I went to put this in, and it wasn't in the case, so I've got an empty case on the shelf. So yeah, I'm keeping hold of this purely because I want to play it. It's only like a £3, £4 game or something like that. The next game going in the collection, I didn't catch on film, but it is Premier Manager 98 for the PS1. This thing is in cracking condition. I think this sells on eBay for like £8-9. I paid £1.50 for it. So this bad boy will go in the collection. Like I said, with my PS1 collection, it's just stuff I pick up here and there. And the last thing is this 2 Point Campus. I paid £1 for it. It's only worth like £4. It's not really my type of game, but it is big box, PS4. It is complete. It is in nice condition, and it will look great on the shelf. I believe it's like a sort of Sims sort of style, theme park sort of style game. I think that's what it is. You sort of set up a university, and yeah, it's not really my style of game, but I couldn't leave it behind for £1. And there are the games going in the collection. Yeah, man, I'm very happy with this charity shop, this week of charity shops. It's definitely made up for last week, definitely put me back in the mood. And yeah, I'm very, very happy. But let's get into the CEX pickup, because I'm hoping we can add some games to the collection. So we'll open the big box first, because I think I know how they've come. I think the two cheaper games have come from the same store, and the more expensive game has come on its own. Let's open this bad boy up. Now, one of them was listed with manual, so I haven't got to worry about that. But the other game was just that little bit too cheap. I think their cut-off is like £45. If it's below £45, you only have the one option, and it's just a risk. It's just a roulette. £45 and above, you get the option of with or without manual. I believe, I could be wrong, let me know in the comments. But this one of them was 40 and one was 45. And one was with and one was without. Or with, whatever, you don't know. Anyway, I'm going off on one, man. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm like hyper. But yeah, here it is. Let's open this bad boy up. I can't wait to add these to the collection. Massive fan of these games. Let's just hope they're in good nick. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure now. I'll show you this one first, because this one has a manual, but I'm not too sure on the cover art. It is Resident Evil 2, but as you can see, look how wrinkled it is. Now, I'm not super fussy, but for me, I don't really like it. It's like water damage or something. Manual is there, and disc is okay. Disc is okay, manual's there. But yeah, I think this might have to go back purely because of that wrinkledness in the front. it's proper noticeable, isn't it? If it wasn't so noticeable, I probably wouldn't be so fussed, but it is really noticeable. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. The other one looks slightly better, or looks much better actually. Just gotta hope it's got a manual. You can probably guess what it is, but it is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, and it has a manual. Manual's there. Disc is butchers. Disc is nice. Disc is nice. So yeah, that's a win for me. I'm happy with that. Condition on that is pretty good. Like I said, I'm not a mint collector by any means. There's no wrinkling in it. It needs a bit of a clean. It's a little bit grubby there on the front, but that's on the top. But yeah, very happy to add Resident Evil 3 Nemesis to the collection. It's a bit of a shame about Resident Evil 2, because I would have had 1 to 4 then already. But yeah, great to add that bad boy. Let's stick him on the shelf for now. Just here. You see it? Yeah, just down there. Right. Let's get into this one here. Now, this game is super interesting, man. When it got suggested, I had to look it up. And I was like, this is oddly fascinating. And by all accounts, it's had pretty good reviews. A lot of people are like, it's had like 8s or 9s. And people are like, why isn't it out of 10? You can obviously let me know your thoughts in the comments. I've never played it. I was super intrigued by it. And it looks just so weird and so different. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having a crack myself and making my own decision. But this was a £90 game. Can't even open it, man. So we know this comes with a manual. This is all about condition now. And like I said, I'm not super fussy, but let's have a good look. Looking good. Looking good. And that game is Doshin the Giant. The legend is alive. An ancient legend has passed from generation to generation. According to this legend, a giant will appear at sunrise. It seems that today the wait has come to an end. Will this enormous yellow giant help the islanders to develop their cultures? And if he does, what will come then? Prepare to rule your own world. Grow larger and larger by absorbing the love and hate of the islanders. The love giant Doshin can even transform. What sort of character will he become? Help the islanders to develop their cultures and watch as they build many different monuments. You can raise or lower the ground to whatever level you like. What an amazing power. Yeah, strange game in my opinion, but very intrigued by it. It is complete. What's that? You've got the Doshin, the Giant. You've also got, I think, the poster, is it? The poster is in there. That's pretty sick. It's not a poster, is it? It's like a promo for some other games. But yeah, the manual's there. Let's have a look at the disc quickly. Disc is good. So yeah, very happy to add this. This is a semi-expensive game on our list. Like I said, it's a £90 game. It's very close to the top there. So yeah, very happy to add Doshin the Giant. Am I saying it right? Doshin the Giant. I believe I am. Let me know in the comments below if you played this game. Let me know what you think of this game. Like I said, from the reviews I've read, people love it. It's just weird, though. I'll throw some footage up while I was talking. You guys would have seen if you don't know nothing about it. But yeah, strange game, but very happy to add it to the collection. Let's stick it on the shelf. So there's the 2 games down there. I will move them about later, but let's knock them off the list. So like I said, Doshin is up here somewhere. Number 11, Doshin the Giant. Where's Resident Evil? Resident Evil, not 2. Resident Evil 3 is there. And we are looking good. So that's a grand total of 15 games in the collection. We're moving along nicely. It's nice to add games to the collection. It's nice to find stuff in charity shops. I feel so much better this week with how it's gone. Like I said, next week we'll be back at the car boots. Fingers crossed, weather permitted. So yeah, very happy to be back doing that. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of this week, what you think of the games I picked up, what you think of the stuff I picked up from the charity shops. As always, if you are new here, please consider subscribing. I really do appreciate it. Let's try and hit that 3,000 so we can do a giveaway for that super pocket. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next one. Peace.